we created a narrative early. The narrative was it doesn't matter if you're the 9 hole. It doesn't matter if you're the pinch runner. It doesn't matter if you're the bullpen guy. What matters is everybody has a job to do. And that narrative was created, and it was hard to create because some guys struggled to buy in. And when they all bought in, you play for a state title, but they struggled to buy in, and we stuck to the course. And, we were adamant about getting better every day between the years, and because they're talented, they're a good group. They're a good group to coach. They know how to play baseball. It's just some of them were inexperienced on the varsity level, and we had to work through those things. And finally, when it clicked. And the reality in those elimination games, there's no pressure on us because we got to win twice, right? The pressure's on somebody else, especially if they got to beat us one time. There's more pressure on them, and that's what we told them before both elimination games. Johnsonville, we had to beat them twice in Lakeview, and we just told them, there's no pressure on you. You just go out there and give the best you got and leave it where it's going to fall, and we'll hang our hat on that. We finished the 4th seed. We weren't supposed to be there. Nobody believed in it. I'm gonna be honest. I had 16 guys and 5 coaches that believed in what we do, and that was the difference. There was nobody else that believed, and I wouldn't have believed either, if I wasn't out there every day. We finished the 4th seed. We might be the first 4th seed to ever play for a state title. I don't know, but I will tell you that it was 16 guys that believed, and nobody else had to believe because nobody else had to make plays for us. Those guys did. So it was kind of the narrative that we created. We go to Johnsonville, and we got our best guy on the bump, region pitcher of the year. And we don't do it at the plate, and we lose 1-0, or 3-1, 3-1, I think it was. And after that game, I asked those guys, Bamberg's going to come back to you. The reality is what do you want to be remembered for? Do you want to be remembered as being the guys that, had the potential and had the mindset, but just throwing it away and just getting done with the season? Or do you want to be remembered for being creating something special within our program? And we beat Bamberg and rain, and we dealt with more rain, and but we ended up beating Bamberg, and we got to go to Johnsonville twice. And I told them, once we got to Johnsonville to play them and beat them, we had to beat them twice. I told them prior to the game, I said, there's no pressure. You win game 1, you're going to win game 2 because there's no pressure on you. And we were down 1-0 in the 7th. We had our guy on the bump. He pitched very, very well. And we were down 1-0 in the 7th, and we did back-to-back squeezes to go up in the 7th. And once those squeezes hit, it was wildfire. From that moment forward, for the rest of the season, I knew that our guys had built confidence in what we do as coaches and what their teammates do. And nobody was ever down. And we asked guys I asked a guy to get a squeeze button down who had 4 bats all year. He had to play because we had an injury. He got a squeeze button down and hadn't gotten but 4 bats all year. So once those things started happening, those kids started believing, and I didn't know we were going to win the lower state title. I didn't, but I knew that it was going to be tough for anybody to beat us. It's a Cinderella story, essentially. It's, we're 23-14 at the end of the year when it's all said and done, and the 14 losses, they were terrible losses. There wasn't a great loss. There's really no great loss. We got to learn a lot through those 14 losses. But the beautiful thing about it was our kids got a taste of it, and they're hungry for it, and a young group, inexperienced group. It was wonderful. And the state title game, it was what it was, both of them. That's a really good ball club. I'm going to be honest, kid throwing 91, 92, it's very, very tough to have 1 or 2 days of preparation to see that. It just shows who our kids are. We're down 8-0 in the 7th, and we score 6, and there was no giving up. We didn't give up all year, and that was a point. That was a process we had to learn. When we lose to Myrtle 11-1 at the beginning of the year, and we had no fight then. We gave up then. And then we go play Myrtle Beach in a doubleheader, the last regular season game of the year, and we beat them both times. Then you learn who your kids are. Well, they've adapted to not giving up. They've adapted to trials and tribulations. They've adapted to sacrifice and what it means to be a part of something bigger than themselves, and that was the rewarding piece. Playing for a state title was great, and I'd love to say we won it all. But the rewarding part for me, and I think our whole staff, was, you know, we had 16 kids that didn't believe in anything at the beginning, and they played for a state title because they changed the narrative of what they did and how hard they worked and what they believed in. And that ultimately was the most beautiful piece of it all, was seeing 16 guys, whether we won the lower state or not, it was seeing 16 guys fight through adversity and create a story that they can always have and they can share with their kids and their grandkids. And that was the beautiful piece.